The following is paid for by Veteran Rescue Mission. The host is solely responsible for its content. Opinions expressed are those of the host and guests, and not necessarily those of Boost Host Media or its sponsors.
The Common Good Radio Show. The Common Good Radio Show. Brought to you by Veteran Rescue Mission. Highlighting the good in the community. Hosted by Pastor John McClain, Tucson's favorite family show.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another amazing special episode of the Common Good Radio Show, brought to you by Homeless Veteran Transition Program Veteran Rescue Mission. I'm happy to be back. I am Pastor John McClain, and as you all know, this would not be the Common Good Radio Show if we did not give grace to a very loving God that makes it possible for us to be here. I usually do that with the Lord's Prayer that goes a little something like this. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. So I say that to say I get to have one of my favorite guests and one of my favorite friends. Actually, I have so many of my favorite friends in this room, actually, but two of my favorite friends I get to interview next. And as I've said so many times on this show, and I really mean it, because I founded a nonprofit. So when I say this is my favorite nonprofit in the world, you know it's something special. And her name is Amy Bass, and she is one of many hats at PEP Inc. And if you've never heard of PEP Inc., I definitely suggest for you to look it up. But thank you for joining me once again, Amy.
Thank you, John. I'm honored to be here.
Yeah, and it's, real quick, for those who've never heard of PEP before, fill them in. Just kind of like a nutshell explanation of what is PEP.
So we have 2 hours.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, I will say pep.org, ppep.org, and there you will see everything. But PEP is just a really diverse organization. It does incredible work in all different domains. So we have a farm worker program, we have charter schools, and on and on and on.
Yeah.
But of course, I'm partial to the prevention department, which I am the executive director of. So
absolutely, yeah, and they do so much, as she said, and help all the different populations, and a lot of different amazing partners you've brought in. And speaking of which, you have one of them here in studio with you, a good friend of both of ours. Why don't you introduce him?
Well, as a matter of fact, I met Jonathan here. Remember that, right?
Yeah.
So Jonathan Arlia of Jonathan Arlia Photography. He works with us now doing our photography. And as a matter of fact, last night we were just down in Amato with our youth program down there, and did a back to school event where all the kids got back to school supplies and a really fantastic dinner at the Longhorn, thanks to Pima County.
Nice.
That was cool.
That's awesome.
Did you have fun, Jonathan?
It was tons of fun. Yes.
Okay. So just real quick, Jonathan, before we kind of go into the Be Free Pima and all the awesome work that they're doing, and definitely some stuff for people to look out for in the community if they have kids, tell us about your experience working with PEP and some of the cool events you've got to capture, and just what the experience has been like for you so far.
Yes. Well, like Amy said, I met her here in the studio, I think about 3 or 4 years ago. And we got off to a good start, and I started covering lots of events like the opioid symposium and lots of stuff in Amato. And she is delightful, and I love doing good.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm sure you probably like me, you've probably learned a lot about, opioid prevention, drug prevention, et cetera, even what programs that are out there for this youth. Just real quick, tell us about something that you've learned or picked up just being in the proximity of PEP that you weren't suspecting to pick up.
He also learned about chili.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, great chili. Yeah.
She's referring to the Amato Chili Cook-Off, so definitely check that out.
Yeah.
I've learned, we do a lot of things down in Amato and the youth, and they're a little bit isolated from the bigger cities. And, it gives perspective to just different groups of people. And I love that Pep Inc. has done so much to lift them and empower them and help them.
Absolutely, yeah. It's definitely something I learned, that a community, a motto, amazing community, man, Pep is like a bridge for them. So it's been awesome to see that happen. But I guess speak, Amy, a little bit about the Be Free Pima summer programs and how that's panning out.
So both the Amato Youth Center and the Be Free Pima Youth Coalition here in Pima County, it's in South Tucson, but it serves all of Pima County too. Those are our two youth programs, depending on where you live, which program you might find your kid involved in or be involved in. And so the Be Free Pima program is, like, this summer is a really hard time because the kids are out of school, of course, and a lot of the families we serve, the parents have to work or they're not home. And so what we've been doing is really talking to the parents and the caregivers and, the aunts and uncles and grandparents and anybody that's around the youth, is pay attention to what the kids are doing. If they're struggling, talk to them. Where is your alcohol? Like, if you have alcohol in the home, is it accessible by the youth? Have you talked to them about the harms and consequences of if they start drinking when they're young or underage, and how dangerous that is, and the impacts? And of course, it's illegal as well. And so no parent wants to place their child at risk. And a lot of times parents don't think that. They think like, oh, we have alcohol in the house, it's ours. The kids aren't going to drink it or take it. But they're home and there aren't adults there. And so the access, and we have these like really cool caps. This is funny. It's a little cap with a combination on the top, and you can put this on your liquor bottles and it will lock the cap so they can't open it. And people don't think about this, but the way that kids take alcohol from the home, they don't take the whole bottle. They usually go get a container or water, like a water thermos or something, and they go to each bottle and they pour a little bit in so the parents never notice. And this is what will prevent it. And we give these out free. They're like $7, but we hand them out all day long. And then if you have medical marijuana in the home or prescription drugs, we have these cool lock boxes. They also have a combination on the top.
Interesting.
And it's just a deterrent. It's to help parents keep their kids safe, but even more than that, they need to talk to them and just really have a conversation. And that's what we're here for, to give that education.
For sure. And I'm glad you mentioned that, because certainly we've been so blessed with this show over the years to have so many staff members with PEP on, and particularly kids that were in one of PEP's programs on the show. And that's probably been the most illuminating part of doing this show or having you guys on is hearing these kids say some of the simplest stuff, but sophisticated in the
profound.
same. Yeah. And, where it's just like, well, no one's really talking to me about X, Y, and Z if I do drink, or what the consequences are if I do vape, just smoke cigarettes, little simple stuff that when I was a kid, we had, dare and just say no to drugs, and that was it. There wasn't, let's talk about it. These drugs exist. Yes, we don't want to do them, but let's talk about why you don't want to do them. Let's talk about the if, what's, whens, and whys about it. And that's what's been really cool to see about PEP, is it seems like you guys use all these different mechanisms and ways and tools to engage kids to have these conversations.
Yeah, we have a lot of fun programs for the kids, and like field trips and whatnot during the summer, and taking them places and really encouraging them to express themselves. And now we are integrating AI training because a lot of these kids aren't getting it. Like, everybody thinks, oh, kids got phones, they can figure it out themselves. But if they want to be successful and utilize it for a career, they really do need formal training. So we're providing that as well. And for the parents, we do the parent-child prevention planning, which is where we train parents on how to talk to your kids, because that's really hard. Most parents, they just want to interrogate their youth and or they just ask questions and the kids go, yeah. or no. And so we train the parents on how to initiate that conversation in a very natural way. But John, I just want to say, I like seriously want to cry. I know you're going to be leaving the show, and I am honored that you invited me here today. And I just want to say, two things. Like, you have been such a role model and a mentor to me in watching you and your partners and Andres and meeting Jonathan and just all of this that you have done, this good work. And I know how hard it is to keep a radio going, and you've done it, and people that I've sent to speak on the radio come back and they're like, that was so much fun. You are so easy to talk to. You also have the best sound going on, in this the process here with the technology. It's a very welcoming environment.
Well, thank you.
We'll be looking forward to continuing.
I know you're trying to make me cry. I'm not going to do it.
Yeah, I'm totally going to miss you, and I hope that you stay in touch. And you have been a hero to so many, and thank you for that. So I wanted to say that, and then I wanted to close with letting you know that I have one last request, and we are doing a popcorn fundraiser. We're selling popcorn. I know it's so sad that we have to figure out all these ways to make money to pay for. What we're trying to pay for is a field trip for the kids and also snacks. Okay. Someone was like, why don't you just feed them the popcorn? But
well, it's not going to work for every meal every day.
We need healthy stuff too to add to it. But I sent you the QR code, and if there's any way you can share that, I really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
People and then, can also call me. Can I give my number?
Absolutely.
All right. Yeah. It is 520-360-5282. 520-360-5282. And you can get popcorn from me and other cool stuff.
Yeah, and definitely check out our Facebook page, Common Good Radio Show, Common Good Media Group. Go to our website, commongoodtucson.com, and you'll be able to check out that QR code, see how you can get yourself some popcorn. Definitely help out Be Free Pima, help out Pep out the kids. If you want a lockbox, if you want more information, please go to ppep.org. And thank you so much, Amy. You've been
thank you for
a great
having
friend, Jonathan Arlia. Thank you, bud.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is the Common Good Radio Show brought to you by Veteran Rescue Mission. I'm Pastor John McClain. Definitely go check us out, veteranrescuemission.org. Go to commongoodtucson.com, and definitely check out all our amazing guests. We'll be back right after the break.
The Common Good Radio Show. The Common Good Radio Show. Brought to you by Veteran Rescue Mission. Highlighting the good in the community. Hosted by Pastor John McClain, Tucson's favorite family show.
Yes, indeed. We are back to the Common Good Radio Show brought to you by Veteran Rescue Mission. I am Pastor John McClain, flying the plane by myself. Hopefully I don't fall asleep at the wheel, but I feel comfortable so far. So far, we're starting off pretty good. And as I promised you, we have great guests on the show today. We have another amazing couple guest here. And I'd say easily my favorite dentist in the world, which I don't know if anybody's actually said that statement before. But even beyond that, I'm one of his newest and best clients to not what people would think of Dr. Mark and his dental practice, but Dr. Mark does something special that, I mean, surprisingly, before I met him, I didn't even realize there was such a gap there. But since I met him, I felt so blessed, and I've become one of his best clients. Everywhere I go, I'm bragging about how amazing the service is. But don't let me ruin it, Dr. Mark. Tell us about yourself and your amazing organization that you came up with.
Well, it's called Coyote Dental. Ow, ow, ow.
Yeah, that's why I didn't want to say it, because I wanted you to do the line for sure.
And a coyote is someone. Well, there's two definitions. There's two different kinds of coyotes. One is an animal, a scrappy little dog-like animal out in the desert. Then there's another kind of coyote, which is somebody who brings people across the border to a better life. Mm-hmm. And my name is Coyote Dental, and we take people across the border and back again for to better their lives through dentistry.
Mm-hmm.
And so what we are is essentially a dental tourism agency, and we help people in this community, Tucson. We help people to go to Nogales and save up to 70% on their dental care.
Yeah.
And we've been doing it for 10 years plus. We have I think we have around 4,000 happy clients, and we have saved people millions and millions of dollars. And 2 of those people are here in the room. Dun, 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 dun.
Dun, 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 dun. Yeah. Well, before I get into, to my experience, and even, I guess, introduce who you have here in studio with you. And before we really get into your testimonial, I want all 3 of us to kind of better explain to the listening audience this process. What is Coyote Dental? Maybe even how we found it. But explain to us, Dr. Mark, who you brought with you today to studio.
Oh, this is Corey.
Okay.
And
he looks like a nice guy.
He is a nice guy. And I'll tell you the story of how we met. You and I have seen each other at networking meetings here in town, so we know what that is. But basically, it's a chance for people to get together at lunch or dinner, and everybody gets up and gives their elevator pitch. And so it was my turn to get up and do my elevator pitch, and I'm like, "Hi, I'm Dr. Mark from Coyote Dental." Ow, ow, ow! And we help people save up to 70% on their dental care in Mexico. Blah blah blah. And so this guy on my left here, he comes up to me after the meeting, after the presentations, and he's got kind of a confused look on his face.
Yeah, I could see a confused look on his face for sure.
It's like, I think it was brand new information to him, and he was like, I got to do this. I think I got to do this. And so, I was like, okay, yeah, we can help you. And then, so within a couple of days, like 4 days later, him and his partner were both in Nogales getting dental care, both 2 different types of treatments, but both of them saved over $15,000. I think one was 16 and one was 20-something thousand. And this was 4 days after my ow presentation, so it was kind of cool. Then we go back to the networking meeting the next time, and there's Corey, and he's giving his own little seminars on Coyote Dental.
That's right.
Yeah.
He had a group of people gathered around and said, "Oh, it's this and it's this, and you save this and you save this." He has a really extensive background in a lot of business, but particularly in dentistry, so he knows a lot about dentistry, and he had an extensive amount of dentistry done in the past in a very expensive market, and so it was an eye-opening experience for him, and so he was just like blown away. And then within a month or so, he was on board and on our team, and he's on track to eventually take over the company, because I'm getting ready. I'm going to retire, and so he's going to be he's committed.
That's a beautiful story. I mean, I feel like I'm going to be intertwined into that story in some capacity, just because, probably like you, Corey, once I saw it, once I experienced it, it changed my life. So, I mean, and with that in mind, we both first met this kooky guy.
Can you tell me a little bit? I'm very curious. When you said changed my life, that's a dramatic statement.
Yeah, it is.
Tell me a little bit more about what it was that changed your life. I mean, what the experiences, or what was the moment, and what was the experience that happened that?
Well, it's tricky. It was tricky. I mean, and it was kind of what I was alluded to in asking Corey the question. So I'll answer your question, and then I'll continue with answer your question with asking Corey the question of, when I first met you, you are a very eccentric personality, and you're just so likable, and you're just so fun, and you're just
what do you mean?
And
you mean my blue beard?
No, nothing to do with the blue beard, just your personality as a whole. But then, you're like, hey, I'm a dentist. I'm a dentist. I practice for blah, 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 all this. And it's like, okay. And you're so relatable, for a dentist. My wife, she's a doctor as well, not the same field, but a doctor, very unrelatable. And then you started telling me about Coyote Dental and the stuff, and I saw your presentation, and it seemed too good to be true. Like, it seemed nearly unbelievable.
It is.
Yeah,
If you get me started in a cocktail party, and I just start going, there's this, there's this, there's this, and it's just it sounds unbelievable.
And as like an American who's only got dental work in America, only got any kind of medical work done in America, I've definitely paid at least $15,000 to $20,000 in dental work here in America, even with my dental insurance. So I trust, I believe, I know the American dental system, but something in the side, back, somewhere in my brain, I didn't trust that the Mexico dental system. I didn't even trust the process at all. But then when I had a serious dental issue, emergency, your name, Coyote Dental was the first name that kind of came to mind. And as soon as I called them and went through the process, it was smooth as the other side of the pillow. And here I sit today with my teeth corrected. And I was really in a bad place mentally at one point, and just almost immediately that got reconciled by, you guys' help getting me connected with the right dental services.
Well, I'm very glad to hear that.
Yeah. So the question to you, Corey, is when you first met him at the networking event and you heard the Coyote Dental, ow, 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 like, what were your impression? And then what did it take for you to trust, okay, I'm gonna try it?
Well, here's the story. So I think in the history, when you make a little extra money, you think, okay, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go all out and get all my teeth done. So in West Hollywood, I got my teeth done, spent about $100,000. It was great. Then the economy changes, everything kind of gets tight every now and then, and I kept breaking the teeth off because the dentist that had prepared the teeth had made them too small. Boom, crack, pop. They kept popping out. So when I met Mark, I was down here and I had knocked out another 2 teeth in the front. It usually always happens before you get married or before you have a conference to speak at, or you're doing something or whatever. And I'd always toyed with the idea of going to Mexico, but figure, are there squirrels running the drills, to get over, the cartoon, whatever.
Yeah, just whatever misconception
and it was just,
exists.
I had 2 of them that knocked out. I got a quote for $5,600 for both.
Each?
Each, yeah, 56 for the whole workup and the 2 new implants because they had to pull the other crowns out, throw those away.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I met Mark at the thing and heard it, and I tackled him virtually to find out about it.
Yeah, he's quick,
about it.
so you got to really corner him.
So I went down there. Next thing you know, not only did I get 2 implants with all the crowns, I got actually 5 implants, a bridge, 6 crowns. I got all this other stuff done, so it's about a $24,000 savings all in the same day. And then my other half went down and got 20 veneers for savings of, $15,000. So the thing is that I just was so amazed how it worked out. And so it was life-changing for me because I didn't have the 56. I didn't have the 56. And one other quick little piece of this is that I had kept dental insurance. And then when I went to get the 1 implant done on it, they went into the finance office, like you're buying a car. And they said, oh, you're over 60. We can't cover that implant anymore because your plan doesn't pay for implants anymore after 60. So it's crazy. So
and I just got to comment on that. If people think about that, who needs implants more than anybody else? People over 60.
Right.
I mean, is that, I want to say a 4-letter word, but I'm going to restrain myself. But is that messed up? That's messes. Mess is a 4-letter word.
Yeah.
That's messed up.
That is messed up.
I mean,
you could say that 4-letter word. That's okay. Yeah, for sure. And it's
it was life-changing, in other words.
Yeah, and I want to, when we get back, I want to pick up there and kind of dig into you and me. It seems like the common thing was we built that, we broke that barrier of distrust just because of emergencies.
Right.
How do we, as proud, happy clients, help the community as a whole, and Dr. Mark serve him trust this process a little bit better? But we'll pick up with that question when we get back. This is the Common Good Radio Show brought to you by Veteran Rescue Mission. I'm Pastor John McClain here with Dr. Mark with Coyote Dental. Ow, 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 right?
I usually do 3, but that's
okay.
That works.
And then we also, and we got Corey. You guys hang in right there. We'll be back right after this break. I also want you to go to veteranrescuemission.org. Veteran Rescue Mission helps homeless veterans get the benefits and housing they've earned. If you got a vehicle, house, or property that you can donate to Veteran Rescue Mission, you can change a veteran's life. Head to veteranrescuemission.org and be part of something that has helped over 1,000 vets get back on their feet.
The Common Good Radio Show. Brought to you by Veteran Rescue Mission. Highlighting the good in the community. Hosted by Pastor John McClain, Tucson's favorite family show.
Do you need lots of dental work? Then you need to get a hold of Dr. Mark and Coyote Dental with 3 ow, ow, ow.
Ow, ow, ow.
So thank you. Welcome back to the Common Good Radio Show. Thank you, Dr. Mark with Coyote Dental, for joining us. And Corey Vaughn, he has a last name we've distinguished during the break. So congratulations.
Thank you for naming me. I appreciate
You're
it.
welcome. So let's pick up where we left off. The question kind of the teaser that I sent us to break with was, pretty much for me and you, Corey, but obviously Dr. Mark, we want you to be the foundation of this conversation. Like, what, not only am I a member, I feel like the hair club president, because I want to tell everybody, I feel like it's my own. Like I want to go to the top of a bell tower to tell everybody to go get with Coyote Dental and trust them and their vetted clinicians to get their services done in Mexico for at least 70% savings. Like, why aren't people beating down the door and utilizing this? What do you think the main problem is, and how do we bridge that gap?
Well, it's happening. 10 years ago, it was when I started, it was a lot less common. And now people, if you ask anybody on the street in Tucson, people, oh yeah, I know about that.
Mm-hmm.
10 years ago, it was like, what? You would go to Mexico? It was like, and now, so what my mission is right now is going beyond Tucson to reach out to the entire North America.
Mm-hmm.
We started out in taking people from Tucson to Nogales, about an hour away. And over a period of time, we started getting people from all around the country, a lot of snowbirds in Tucson, and taking them to Nogales. But also, we developed relationships along the beach. So now we have offices at the border and at the beach. We have offices in Tucson and Los Algodones, which is right across from Yuma, and then in Tijuana, across from San Diego. And then we have like 6 locations at the beach. We have Cabo, Cancun, Playa del Carmen, and Puerto Vallarta, and more.
You're just having fun, aren't you?
Oh,
this isn't even a job for you anymore.
But you know what? When I've been doing it for 10 years, and I had a lady working for me, and her husband was our bookkeeper, and that was my whole team. And they both retired, and they were way, way, way past retirement age. And I was just kind of coasting along, and I wasn't doing anything. I had this tax deductible travel lifestyle, and I spent a lot of time traveling in Mexico, supposedly going. But basically, I had a great life, and I was not that focused on expanding the organization. Something happened recently, and I gradually started seeing what a big difference I was making with people. And then all of a sudden, I started attracting people like Corey, and I got excited about the prospect of really making this a legacy for my father. My father's a dentist, and I came back to Tucson to take over his practice. And late in my career, I went to school in San Francisco, practiced there for about 15 years. Then I came back, took over my dad's practice. And at the time that the official passing of the torch, his last day, and me taking over handing the keys, we decided we would do something to commemorate the occasion. And that was to go to Ireland and do a bike trip, because my dad loved Ireland and he loved biking. And so my dad's last day was a Thursday. That was his deal. He worked Monday through Thursdays, had a great life, and loved to do outdoor stuff on the weekends. And so we were in the airport at Heathrow like 2 days later, like less than 2 days later, 36 hours later. He was in London, and he was diagnosed with colon cancer. Yeah, 36 hours after his official retirement.
Man.
So, needless to say, it was life-changing for him and for me. And my father got some treatment in London, came back, and then he was in remission for 4 years. And then, but the cancer finally came back and got him. And after he passed away, it was like all of a sudden, in this one moment, headed down east on Speedway, I was struck with my own mortality. Like, oh my God, I'm gonna die too.
Mm.
You know, we all know we're going to die, but when a parent dies or something like that, it's like, whoa, this is real. This is not dress rehearsal. So I said to myself, I'm going to take 6 months off to do what I love, which is to travel and take pictures. And I set a date. I said, November 1st, I'm just going to make it happen. It's going to happen. And then between the time that I set the date and the time the date came around, instead of taking 6 months off, I ended up selling the dental practice, selling a trademark I had on the name SmileWorks, and selling an infomercial I had produced about cosmetic dentistry, porcelain veneers. All 3 deals were signed and sealed on the same day that I had committed to leaving. So I had, I was young. I was in my 40s, mid 40s. I had time and I had money, and I took off and I drove from Tucson all the way to the southern tip of South America, and then eventually came back and started running out of money. I thought I'd made enough money that I would never have to work again. I thought I was so smart that I would be able to do that.
Yeah, we always do, don't we?
Yes. So I didn't. Had let my dental license lapse. So I went to Mexico thinking maybe I could get a job across the border with my diploma. I could get a job there, and that's when I discovered, what was happening. And I was like, oh my God! I looked at the equipment, and I thought, wow, I've been out of the loop for a long time. And it was like they really had much better technology than Tucson did. And the people were so nice, and the prices were 1/3 of what you'd pay in the States. And I was like, wow, there's an opportunity here. People need to know about this. And the style of practice was so much like my dad's. Typically in the United States, if you find some way to rip people off legally, it's kind of like, oh, good on you. I mean, it's sad. Capitalism. It's our system. And but my dad actually pushed people away from his office. He would teach them to clean their teeth and tell them to come back in 9 months instead of 6. And that's not what they teach you. That's not what the practice management consultants teach you. So anyway, the style of practice that they have in Mexico is very much like my dad's from 30 years ago, where it's like, oh, we just figure out what you need, and then we figure out a way to give you the opportunity to do that. We don't try and upsell you on 4 different types of treatments that you don't really need. This is what happens at dental offices these days.
Yeah,
it's like this upsell and production, fulfillment thing.
Yeah, it's more about cosmetics than health and medicine.
Well, cosmetics is great if people need it and they want it. I mean, if they want it, and they have the choice. But when people have, if people are missing teeth, it's not a cosmetic issue. They need to freaking chew.
Yeah.
And so anyway, it's honoring my father's legacy, because my father was he was a tightwad. We called him Dollar Bill. His name was Bill. We called him Dollar Bill. And he loved people, and he loved finding cheap ways to do it and getting them taken care of without charging them an arm and a leg.
Maybe a comment that I might jump in on is that when I was going to school, I worked for about 4 years in a dental lab, making the bits and pieces that go in the mouth and so forth. So I learned a lot. I was always concerned about the technology in Mexico. I was always concerned about those types of things. I'm letting you know right now, the state-of-the-art technology. Most of the equipment's made in Mexico. When you go into these offices, they have 3D scanners, they have AI, they have everything. You have style guides. It's amazing. I had an implant fail one time because the expert in the U.S. just put it where he felt it needed to be. When you get an implant put in there, you have a style guide that the AI and the 3D scan is actually designed exactly in the bone where it needs to go. In fact, when I had all these put in, I asked one time, when are you going to do the bottom? And they said, oh, we've already done those first. So the technology is amazing. So.
Yeah, I agree. It's it's been an illuminating experience going and seeing the dentist office. Like you're saying, it's just as nice, if not better, than the dentist office that I would go to in America. I mean, as far as like the design and the feel and the equipment, it's a dentist office. And I think my biggest fear, like as I going into it, was like liability. Like, okay, what if something goes wrong? What do I do? Or like, where do I go? Like, what if, I go back and then the place is gone or something like that. Like that was a concern I have. But, having, been probably going back and forth there for 2-3 months now, Place is always there. It's a beautiful place, great staff. Usually I don't take the shuttle into the city. I drive to the border, and then they have someone from the dentist's office meet me right at the gate and take me to the dentist's office. So it's an awesome, and the people are just so nice and so friendly. Like, I mean, really, like the lady who meets me at the gate at this point, she's like a friend. I mean, it's really, I mean, I don't have that. I mean, as much as I love the dentist that I went to here in Tucson, they're not my friends like that. They're nice people, but they certainly aren't, it's not the same. Yeah, I guess.
I'd like to add two things on those points. Number one is the Mexican culture, Latino culture in general, is very heart-centered.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very different. If you've never never been inside the culture and like been in a family situation, it is really palpable.
Mm.
And that heart-centered culture bleeds into their health culture. So,
well, let's pick up on the second point after we come back from the break.
all right, very good.
Yeah, we're gonna go into the break. I have Dr. Mark with Coyote Dental here, as well as Corey Vaughn. No relation. I don't know who. Maybe Vince Vaughn. But this is the Common Radio Show brought to you by Veteran Rescue Mission. I'm Pastor John McClain. We all, as always, want to thank our sponsors and supporters: Coyote Dental, Donzel Dust Landscaping, Tucson International Academy, Pemp Inc., and MJ Wall Arts. I highly suggest you check him out on Facebook, on Instagram. He probably one of the best artists that I know, but don't take my word for it. Check it out yourself. We'll be right back after the break.
The Common Good Radio Show. The Common Good Radio Show. Brought to you by Veteran Rescue Mission. Highlighting the good in the community. Hosted by Pastor John McClain, Tucson's favorite family show.
Welcome to the Common Good Radio Show, brought to you by Homeless Veteran Transition Program, Veteran Rescue Mission, and Coyote Dental. I have Dr. Mark here with me, as well as Corey Vaughn, a happy client of Coyote Dental, alongside myself. Thank you so much, Dr. Mark and Corey, for joining us.
You bet.
Yeah. So, Dr. Mark.
We were just talking on the break about the American dental system being broken, fractured.
So, I mean, and it's interesting. As much as I've heard parts of your testimony of what brought you into doing Coyote Dental and what really inspired you, the question that kind of came to mind while you were talking about that is, did your dad get to see the inception of Coyote Dental, or did you ever share any of this dreams with him?
There's a really great story about my dad calling me a failure in the middle of my career. I have the sound is going in and out a little bit on this. Is that?
It's just your headphones, probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
My father, I did some things a little bit off the wall for my dad. I started doing cosmetic dentistry. It was brand new. I was on the first wave of porcelain veneers, and I did an infomercial, and I was advertising for cosmetic dentistry, and nobody had ever done that in Tucson, and my dad thought I was a little crazy. And then, but at the very end of his life, I did this infomercial, and I was starting to get this acknowledgments from the profession about what I was doing. And on his deathbed, he said something along the lines of, "Mark, you're smarter than all those other guys." And it was like he saw what I was doing, because we were working together in the office, and he finally saw me not as the failure that he called me in the middle of my career. And so it was a really cool acknowledgement.
Nice.
And I do feel like this is a testament or a legacy. I want to leave a legacy for him. My legacy is a legacy to him.
Yeah. Yeah. So explain for the listeners who don't know, and let's just act like me and Corey don't know the process. We don't know anything about how to get started with Coyote Dental. break it down to us like we're fifth graders.
Okay, so what we do is we have something called our Coyote Concierge Call, and basically you go to our website coyotedental.com and you book like a 15-minute call to chat with us to talk about what your needs are, where you want to be seen, and what. So we can help you sort of give you a ballpark estimate. We don't give you a quote, but we can, based on what you think you need, we'll give you a ballpark estimate about what you'll save, and then figure out what dentist and what specialist you'll need. Because usually when you're going to Mexico, you're going to be seeing a specialist. So we want to get you to the right place and sort things out for you. And then if it's all a fit, then we get an appointment for you and we guide you down to wherever you're going. People from Tucson, obviously, they're going to drive down, or we have a shuttle that'll come and pick them up. And then you'll go down and you'll get your initial exam and consultation. And depending on the office, they're very, very, very low cost. And you get scans and x-rays, very, very low cost. Like up in Tucson, we were talking about scans. They can be $650 to $1,000. And down there, they keep the cost down. And a CT type scan will be, instead of a $650 to $1,000, it'll be like $65 to $85 for the same service, even with a better machine.
Yeah.
So anyway, so basically what we do is sort of hold people's hands and get them across the border and get them to a trusted dentist. And so I've been doing this for 10 years, and we have some dentists that we've been working with for almost that long in Nogales. So we have sort of a vetting process to make sure you're getting to the right kind of specialist you need, and that they speak English, and that they're going to take good care of you. And and then we get you, help you set up on your first appointment and get you on the road. And so, and as I was explaining earlier, now we're connected with dentists all over Mexico at the border and at the beach. So we have the same kind of a relationship. So if people are, if you're doing, if you live in close to the border and you can drive, it's not a big deal to go at your leisure, whenever you want. But if you're going to be going to the beach, and it behooves you to get it planned out so you can get all the work done in like a week. Or if you have implants, is a common reason to go to Mexico. Typically, there's two appointments that you need. 2 visits separated by 4 to 5 months for your implant to integrate. So we just help people make sure they're getting the right appointment at the right place and set up to stay there for that first week and get things going. We get them set up in an office that knows how to handle the dental tourism to get them in, get the work diagnosed and done, and then get them to come back for the follow-up in 6 months, whatever it is. So we just have relationships with our practitioners, and then we have the relationships with the patients to guide them and answer their questions and figure out what they need. And, if people need a second opinion, or they, or if there are some kind of issues that they're not able to solve, they can call us and we help them to sort things out. Doesn't happen very often, but it's nice to know that you have us to act as a referee or as a help. And sometimes people need second opinions, and so we help them with that, and we guide them through the process. It's like a hand holding.
Yeah.
And I'm always available to talk to people. I always tell people that when I meet them in person, and nobody ever calls me.
Yeah.
Hey, I just thought of something. A lot of the bigger offices down there actually have hotel rooms associated with them.
Yeah, we have a number of offices that in all over Mexico at the beach that have really got the tourism part of it dialed in. And it makes so much sense because, it sounds really like, oh my gosh, I'm going to go down and have a great vacation. But you have to, most people are going down, really their teeth is the main reason they're there. So to be right in the same place, because typically you'll go down and they'll do the diagnosis and they'll need to see you a number of visits. And so very often they'll get you started and need to change appointments. Things happen. They want to get you a bunch of stuff done in a week. And so it's nice to have a hotel, and you don't have to worry about, it's nice to be right there and be well taken care of and be able to rest. And, hopefully you get out and get to the beach and do some fun stuff, but you really want to be there to get your teeth done and make it easy. So you don't have to, it makes for such a seamless experience to have the hotel right there on the premises of the dental office.
I feel like either my brain has evolved or Coyote Dental has continued to evolve since we last had you on the show, because as much as I thought it was brilliant that you had, this network of different dentist office on the other side of the border that people can go to and save a whole bunch of money, this dental tourism thing you're talking about is kind of brilliant.
Well, it's
you get I could go down to Cabo San Lucas, have a good time, and then get my dental work done. Which, I mean, just in dental work in general, we talked about a little bit earlier in the show. It's it's one of the most hated things on the planet. People hate going to the dentist. The dentist, it's just so traumatizing. There's a lot of it's scary. It's not fun. But you're almost making it fun. I don't know if that's allowed.
I just recorded a testimonial from a friend, somebody that I know pretty well. I took him down, and he went down for his first appointment. They went down the second time with his daughter, and they had such a great time. And so he did this testimonial. And he says, I don't know how to say this, but we just can't wait to go back to the dentist again because they went out and had some, after they had some tacos and maybe some margaritas, whatever they did, and they had such a great time.
Yeah.
And it's the same with, going to the beach, going to Cancun or Cabo. It's oh, you mean I'll have to go down twice? Oh no!
Yeah.
Twist my arm. I
know.
I have to go back to Cabo.
And it's crazy.
Again?
I mean, that's the cream of the crop locations, and you could probably speak to this because I'm guessing you go to Nogales too when you get your work done. Even going to Nogales is pretty fun. You get to see different houses. You get to stop into different shops that you're not used to see. Do a little shopping. The people are like you already mentioned are just lovely people and engaging. So it's just every time I'm going down there, me and the family were planning a trip to Mexico. But we weren't able to figure it out. But then I needed to get dental work, so I get to go to Mexico all the time. So
yeah, it's been
true. Pretty fun.
Haircuts, restaurants.
All of the places that we refer to are in tourist areas, and the tourist areas are so safe and secure and protected. There's a lot of stuff that goes on in Mexico that's unsavory, but
in America,
But the tourist areas are so safe and so secure, and like in Nogales, there's kids there's young kids and their mothers on the street, and it's very safe. And the same with the beach locations. They have a tourism thing that's already set up. There's millions of tourists that go to Cancun every year.
Absolutely.
And so to get it dialed in with the dental treatment is just kind of.
So we got a minute till we have to jump out of here. Explain to people how they can get a hold of Coyote Dental, how they can plug in, and what's the process.
All right. It's coyotedental.com. And the way that we work is people go to the website, or you can call us at 520-355-4800 and call us and talk to us directly. But the best way is to set up a time to talk to us directly, and you'll get 15 minutes to talk about your needs, and then we get you going and get you answer your questions, sort out what you need, and get you an appointment.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Mark.
Thank you. It's been great to be here.
That's Dr. Mark and our friend Corey Vaughn. You keep staying handsome, Corey, over there.
Right.
This is the Common Good Radio Show brought to you by Veteran Rescue Mission. I highly recommend you go to coyotedental.com. Check them out. I'm a happy client. I gave them a call. They got me connected with the exact professional that I needed. That they had several for me to choose from. I've been just ecstatic ever since. And thank you, Dr. Mark, for what you do. Thank you. Yeah, this is a Common Good Radio Show brought to you by Veteran Rescue Mission, and we'll see you next time.